What is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're back on the 404 Mark II, and in this video I want to talk about something that I raised in the previous video. So if you want to go back and look at yesterday's video, I basically said that this unit makes making beats a lot easier and a lot faster. So I wanted to basically go into more detail about that and explain exactly why I think that's the case. So obviously if you are looking at this device at the moment and you're looking at the delays and thinking maybe I should just get an SX, that's definitely a good option. But I do want to show you some of the features on this that may make it worth the wait. These things are going to make your beat making way faster, way easier, and you're going to get similar results in final sound compared to the SX or the A, but you're going to probably be able to do it a lot faster because of these features. So let's go through them, and hopefully by the end of the video you'll be a lot more clued up on this device and it will give you a better idea of how the workflow kind of works on this. That's something I'll touch on more in future videos, but for now I'm just going to stick to this topic on this video. So if you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget as well you can support what I do by picking up beat packs from my shop. So if you want to hit the links in the description below, that really is the only way that my channel's funded apart from the ads on Google, so I'd appreciate it if you could go and look at that. So yeah, let's get into this one. The first point that I want to show you guys, and if you want to look at this in more detail, there are other videos available on my channel, and that's the mute groups. So the mute groups just make making sample patterns a lot easier in my opinion. You can get way more creative. So let's have a look at some samples I've got chopped up on here. And we're in bank B, so let's make sure that they are in a mute group, which it's saying they are, but they do have gate on, so I'll take gate off them all. And now we can start to get a little bit more creative with the way that we're making patterns for our beats. I feel that on the SX and A, you are kind of limited a bit with the sort of patterns that you can do because you have to quickly change your fingers to do it, but with this you get a lot more time. Okay, so hopefully that example shows you there that you can get way more creative. Let's say if I took that mute group off. So let's go to B and just remove those, and let's try that again. Firstly, we have to have gate on because otherwise we're going to get that sort of chaos that you just heard there. So you can do it, but it's a bit more glitchy and not quite as free-flowing as when you've got the mute groups. So I think that's why the mute groups are really, really cool. You can get much more complex arrangements of the samples down a lot easier than you could do with the previous versions of this device. Okay, the second thing that I want to mention, and this really was a bit of a game changer with this device, I feel, and that's the ability to be able to look at the waveforms. Now, I know a lot of you will say it's a lot better when you just use your ears and you get a much more natural feel, but this waveform viewer just comes in so handy, I think. So let's say you've just got a drum sound like this, a nice kick sound there, and if I go into start and edit, you get to see the whole waveform. You can change the start and end points so easily, and you can zoom right in on that as well. So if I just wanted to make sure there was no dead noise on the end of that, no space at the end, you can see here I can zoom right in, and you can do 11 times zoom, and I can get that right at the end of the waveform properly like that. Also, obviously, it's great for getting start points, and especially on kicks and snares and hi-hats. If you're just sampling them in and recording them straight in and you're not using the import feature, you can get right up to the start of those waveforms really easily with this view, instead of having to just use your ears and sort of use that start end button in a trial and error kind of way. This is much, much easier. So again, this is going to really speed up your beat making. These sort of tedious tasks are just a lot faster to do, and that's another example of one of them. So mute groups, being able to see the waveform, that's two. So let's move on to the third point, and that is the ability to have sort of supercharged resampling on this device. Now, if you're familiar with the SX or the A or anything before that, you'll know that there's a polyphony on these devices. So when you hit a certain amount of pads, whether they're stereo or mono, if you're resampling and you're hitting loads of different pads you will get a cutout, and it's really, really annoying. A lot of people have messaged me over the years wondering if that's a problem with their device. It's absolutely not, unfortunately. It's just that they're limited in their polyphony. So with mono, you get a little bit more. With stereo, you get less. But with this device, the polyphony really has gone up a notch, and now it's 32 voices across everything. So say if I wanted to resample down drums and these samples, I could do all that in one go. So I'm just going to do this really loosely. I'm going to do resample. I'm going to choose pad 8 and then hit any pad to start recording. Now, obviously, you could use a lot more pads than that, but this is just for demonstration purposes. The chances are, if you're doing something that kind of complex on the SX or the A, you would most likely get that cutout happening. So we can listen to that back now. Okay, so not technically brilliant. Obviously, I'd sit down and spend more time if I wanted to do something properly, but hopefully that gives you an idea that the resampling on this really is supercharged, and it just enables you to do that many more things a lot more easily. And going back to the theme of this video, obviously, it's going to make making beats a lot quicker and a lot easier for you as well. So much less of a headache with the resampling on this device now. Okay, the next point, and it's something that I've already discussed on this channel, it's the effects routing. So now, obviously, you've got these buses which you can apply effects to, and the reason why I want to mention these is because now you can stack effects so easily that is going to save you so much time when it comes to resampling. So if you can go back to the SX or the A again and think about the resampling process of that, if you wanted an effect stacked on the top of it, let's say you wanted 2 effects actually. So say you wanted some vinyl sim and you wanted some compression, you'd have to resample with vinyl sim, then you'd have to resample again with compression. With this device, you can have up to 4 layered at the same time. So you can imagine that's going to save you so much time on the resampling workflow. And even if you're working in pattern mode as well, because now you can resample the patterns down to pads and then apply effects, it's also going to help you be able to apply numerous effects to your patterns as well. So all in all, without going into loads of detail about this because I've already done a video about it, the buses do help massively in terms of saving time when making beats. Just having those stacked layers, it saves you 3 or 4 run-throughs of the same loop trying to get those effects right. So that's definitely a huge improvement on this device, that we've got all that effect stack, and it just saves you a ton of time. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to mention is the chopping. Now, back in the day, with the SX and the A, the chopping was fun. I do enjoy the workflow of it, and using your ears obviously massively. But with this new workflow, it's hard to believe that I was actually using that workflow, to be honest, because this just makes so much more sense. It's obviously a lot more intuitive and a lot easier. So again, I don't want to go into a ton of detail about this because I have already done a video about chopping, so you might want to go and check that out on my channel. But if I just go to pad 1 here, which I've got selected, if I press shift and start and end, you can see that's chop. You get the full menu here and the waveform. You can click the menu. You can auto mark, and let's say we're going to do it by time division 8 and press enter. Yeah, lose current marks. Yeah, there you go. It's chopped it all up into equal parts there, into equal samples, and then we can just assign to pad. So on previous versions of this device, obviously that was very, very tedious to have to go through and chop manually, and we were copying samples to different pads and changing the start points to try and get around it. Wasn't a very nice workflow, but on this it makes it much, much easier. So I've kind of lost count, but I'm pretty sure that is 5 points about why this device is now a lot easier and a lot faster to make beats with. If you've got any more comments about ways that have improved your workflow since you've got this device, I'd love to hear that. Leave a comment below and let us know. Hopefully, if you're new to this device, this gives you a really good insight into the features that are available for sort of day-to-day beat making. And that's it for this one, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Like I've already mentioned, if you could hit my shop and check out my beat packs there, that'd be really, really appreciated. There's loads of good lo-fi drums available there to make your beats with. And subscribe if you like the content, because I've got videos like this coming out every week. And if you can hit a thumbs up as well, that always helps my videos too. So keep making beats on whatever devices it is that you've got, guys, and I'll be back with more content very, very soon. Peace!